الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم We seek refuge in Allah from the rejected enemy, Shaitan. نستعينه ونستغفره. We ask Allah for His help and His forgiveness. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. ونعبد الله مخلصين له الدين. We witness that there is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We witness that Muhammad, may the prayers and peace be upon Muhammad forever. And we are of the Mukhlisin Allahuddin, those who choose to take the logic to its conclusion, the sincere in faith. We thank Allah much for allowing us to be here today, brothers and sisters, at Salat al-Jumah, at Masjid al-Ba'ina. Praise be to Allah, Lord of all the worlds. With the name of Allah, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. All praises is due to Allah. We'd like to greet brothers and sisters today in the greetings of Allah's peace upon us. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Alhamdulillah. It is my pleasure always to be amongst this beautiful community of Muslims throughout the world. numbering over 1 billion, 1.5 billion Muslims all over the world that make up this community. That Allah says in His Quran, He says to us, "Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas," that you and I are of the community the best. Now there's a comparative idea there. He's comparing us with peoples all over the world. And he has made the comparison and says, you are of that group that are and is the best. Allah says we was the best. But there's a qualification for being the best. Praises be to Allah. But we are of that community. We'd like to read from Surah Yasin. Yasin. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Yasin. Yasin. Wal Qur'ani hakim. Innaka limani mursalin. Alayhi siratal mustaqim. Tanzila Azizu Rahim. First 5 verses of the Quran. It says, Yasin. By the Quran. By the Quran. Full of wisdom. Full of wisdom. Thou art indeed one of the messengers, Mursaleen, on a straight way. It is a revelation sent down by Him, the exalted in might, most merciful. Praise be to Allah. This surah, Yasin, it has a mystic value, but it has a real value. The real value, the one that we can look at and identify, is the value of 2 letters in the Arabic alphabet, Ya and Sin. There's a Sin and there's a Ya, both of them being letters of an alphabet. So Allah begins. It says in the Arabic, wa Qur'ani. That wa in the Arabic means that I swear by it. This is the Lord of the worlds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's saying, I swear by it. Now, usually when that is used as I swear by the day of Yom Kippur. I swear. You got a lot of I swears in the Quran. And those of us are students, we understand that. I swear. So when that is used, it is used as an introduction to get your attention. Now, if Allah is swearing by His Quran, how much more should we be paying attention to what comes after that? He says, I swear by this Quran. So that's one aspect, that Allah is swearing by His own Quran. And that means that what comes after wa has to make itself a evidence or a proof of the thing that comes after that. It has to be a proof that comes after wa. I swear what? I swear what? I swear what? I swear by the Quran. So the Quran is the evidence of the swearing. So Allah says, I swear by this Quran. Believer? So the Yah and the sin, first of all, is like a mother or a father teaching his child the alphabet. Yah, sin. In some circles, the scholars say that Yah, sin means old man. It could be that because that sin is in Nas. That Yah is old. So it could be that. It could be a lot of things based on what the scholars. But right here, we're just dealing with sin as an introduction, as getting the attention, getting ready to lay, or it is laying the foundation for what comes after it. So it says by the Quran, sin, pay attention. You start the education process here. And the education is about the Quran. So it says, Yasin, by the Quran, full of what? Wisdom. First of all, wisdom. Allah is letting us know right off that this book that he's calling us to, that came down. Now listen, if something came down, you didn't see it before. So it came down. It says, by the Quran full of wisdom, thou art indeed one of the messengers. Now, Allah is educating. This surah is a Meccan surah, meaning that it began its development. It was there with the development of the Islamic community. All of this Quran, obviously, if it's a Meccan surah, obviously, it was not in totality. So Allah is educating us. Now this Quran is being revealed. He is giving it to the prophet and says, this Quran that I'm revealing to you is full of wisdom. Now if we look, that's one aspect of Hakim. The word Hakim is that it alludes to and is associated with wisdom. Promoting intelligence, wisdom, knowledge, all of that go together. But it also has an aspect to it that gives power. It's the power and ability to render judgments between right and wrong, between good and bad, between speculation and proof. It has that ability to do that in that attribute of Hakim. So now this education that's coming to the prophet is the same education that we're getting now. It was sent down. And what I'll try to do is get us to respect, and I ain't saying that nobody does, respect the fact that this same phenomenon of education that the prophet went through, we're going through it also. On our own level as believers. The prophet never asked us to do anything that he didn't do. He said he wouldn't be a prophet that could relate to us if he was doing something that we couldn't do, or that Allah is asking him to do something generally that we couldn't do. Allah never asked the prophet to do something that we couldn't do. That's why he's the model. Those possibilities are there. He just had more wherewithal to be able to get it done. So he says, thou art indeed one of the messengers, and the Arabic goes, innaka liman mursaleen. That messenger, a rasul is different than a messenger, a mursaleen rather. The mursaleen is someone who has been sent with a message. So Allah sent the Prophet Muhammad with the message. That's why he's Allah's messenger. And he's not man's messenger. And he was sent with a message that came from where? It came down. I think that what we're seeing today is the lack of the progression of moving your Islam, your al-Islam forward in your own life. And we have proof that the Al-Islam, is not moving forward, that we as believers could do a better job in progressing the Islam in our own lives. We shouldn't be satisfied knowing 20 years ago and have that same body of knowledge and understanding it the same way today. We shouldn't be satisfied with that, because Allah does not progress Islam like that. Allah progresses Islam so it will be compatible with your life as you live it. And as the age comes on, He provides a body of comfort for you, because your interest as a 30-year-older is not the same interest that you should have as a 60-year-older. 60-year-older. So we have to see this progression as happening to us. So we call a Muslim, this word Hakim, is one, it's a body, it's a wisdom, it's the foundation for wisdom. Two, it's the power to give a judgment. Now Allah, having that attribute, definitely has the power to execute a judgment. And then one of the other beautiful attribute in itself, to that attribute, and it is seen in one of the uses of the word Hakim, hukum. Now this word hukum is from Hakim, but hukum has more to do with national ramifications, like for territories and nations. So Allah is not only revealing hikmah for the individual, He's revealing at the same time to this Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam hukum that gives him the ability to make judgments based on national and international interests. You see how this one word, taking upon a certain vowel on top of that word, changes the meaning, but it goes deeper. It don't get no lighter. It goes deeper into the word. So we are being educated not only to have local and community interests, we are being educated to have national and international interests. We should be able to speak on international interests. The wisdom that we get from the Quran, this Quran that's being sent down. Now, I just really hope that we get this idea of Allah, the Creator, educating us. That is a bigger deal than going to Harvard or Yale. I think we underestimate who has the wisdom. We are getting a special education under a special teacher who was taught. Praises be to Allah. So this word ikam is another aspect of the word hakim. Ikam is alluding to and means well knit, tight. Now we're talking about the Quran. Remember, it says the Quran full of wisdom. So now we're working with the word wisdom to Allah's trying to describe and hint to us and tell us obviously what He's getting at. He says that this Quran is well knit. It's tight, bro. And I think we need to know that better. Because I think some of us believe that this Quran cannot answer some aspects of our problems. I think we shelf the Quran and pick up other bodies of knowledge in in hopes that it will be more of a problem solver than the Quran. No. Even the angel said, oh my God, leave nothing out of this book. Nothing. Nothing means nothing. Meaning if we have a problem, it can be satisfied in this book. From the cradle to the grave. From any curvy street you may have to go down. Any street that take quick lefts and quick rights. The Quran is right there. You can't lose the Quran. You can decide not to use the Quran, but the Quran is going to be right there at every turn, whether you're 6 or 63. And I'm coming from a premise here because I like to study the community and find out some of the things I hear. And what I'm hearing on a regular basis is that this is just, this is just like a default thing. It's par for the course. It's like, blah, blah, go to the masjid. It's okay. No. You're accepting and us accepting and us choosing Islam was not a favor to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islam is a favor to us. Did you hear what I said? It's a favor. Hey man, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to give you, and this is Allah suggesting to us, if we can get it, I'm going to give you something that you can't find on your own. I have to guide you to it. Because you have original nature that you have no idea about. So I'm going to help you. And when I help you, it's perfect help. It says, this day I have perfected your religion for you. I've done it for you. You have no claims of doing this. You didn't perfect Islam. You can't, we right out of the grave trying to tell how Islam should be. No, we have to speak on how we should be and be compatible with the Islam, with the Al-Islam. We cannot improve on Al-Islam. It is a perfect body of knowledge that encompasses everything. You're not coming up with nothing new to add to this religion. Allah said he perfected this religion for you. Praise be to Allah. So this hikmah is a overriding consideration when we read the Quran, is that it's a book full of wisdom. And we should all be attracted to wisdom. Now, one verse we want to say something about. It says in the 4th verse, it says, thou art indeed one of the messengers. Is encouraging the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of the messengers, meaning that there were messengers that came before you. And the 4th verse says here, it says, alayhi sirakta mustaqim. Now, in the translation, in the English, it says, and this is important for us to register. It says, alayh. That means upon a straight path. But when you put vowels on that same alayh, which on one level, one entry would be upon, but when you vowelize it, and this is what the Prophet Muhammad did, he put emphasis on that through his life. He did that with his own life. It means not only upon a straight way, it means committed to that straight way. There's a big difference, isn't it? I can be on and around, but I don't have to be committed. It's a big difference. This is important for the Muslim. And that's why this committed to a straight way. You just can't hang around in Al-Islam. You can't hang around. We can't emphasize more how whatever you are doing, you have to find that dignity within this community life. I don't care what is your profession? What is your profession? What is your work? Whatever your work is has to be expressed in where? A community life. If you go over to the other faith communities, their work is committed to that community life. There's no way that you can work outside a community that you say you're a part of. Turn on that fan back there. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. It says in the Quran, it says Tanazala Azizu Rahim. It says that this Quran that's full of wisdom came down, and it came down from an Aziz. Allah expressing himself as Aziz now. He ain't mentioned Allah yet. This is good dawah here. This is a good example of dawah. You know you can get to principles, good principles, without mentioning Islam or Allah if we trying to reach people and they're not familiar with us. Allah did it in His Quran. The first revelation. He introduced Himself as the Creator. Now Allah is saying this Quran, and Yasin, this Quran was sent down from the Aziz and the Rahim. Now, this word Aziz isn't an authoritative word. It means it carries the ability to have authority and respect. You know, a police, he can have authority, but he don't necessarily command respect all the time. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses this word, letting you know that this book comes from an Aziz who has the authority and commands the respect. Now, isn't this what the believer should take on? We get a little sheepish with our Islam. Sometimes we take positions like we really don't believe it for real. Yeah, you know, I believe in the 5 principles. I even went to Hajj. But you know how many people turn out to be fools after Hajj? That happens. So the rituals in themselves doesn't guarantee you anything. What guarantees is a commitment upon the path is what the guarantee is. Now, you know the water man know when to give somebody some water. No, the commitment is what guarantees us the paradise. Don't worry about the Hajj being accepted. This is Hajj time now. Don't worry about it being accepted. Worry about how you perform after you come back and how you perform before you win. Because everybody don't get to go to Hajj. So they have to be all right with the Hajj they're performing right now. And when you come back, you realize that more that you was on Hajj. You went and saw the symbols so we can relate to our book because the symbols are sacred. But you really realize more that your life, living your life on life's terms, is the Hajj. Praise be to Allah. So this Tanzila is something that comes down, and it came down by the Aziz, one who has authority and one who has the respect. And then he said it's also from the Rahim, Ar-Rahim, the loving one, the one who resorts to loving us over and over again. Now, why am I bringing these things up like this? Because that's what we need to do. I think we need to love each other more. And we could use Allah and his ever returning to love as an example of how we should love. Now it's getting cold-blooded out here. And the horn, the bugle horn for being cold is louder than the bugle horn for being merciful. So you have a warring atmosphere. Shooting here, shooting there, killing here, killing there. It's a warring atmosphere. So we as Muslims, although we may not pick up the gun, we have to be careful that we don't become snipers. Get behind the wall and shoot. Who we killing? The example is in what we see on the TV. Muslims, who are they killing? Those who they say are Muslims. If we are to believe that all of them are Muslims, then we have to concede to the fact we're just killing each other. Isn't that a fact? Now, if it's a fact, then something, the reading of this book has not been an appropriate reading. So there's a misleading entity somewhere, somehow, that's got the Muslims rationalizing this nonsense. That it's all right, it's par for the course to kill each other without a conscience the next day. It's in the reading. It's a commitment to the path. It is obvious that there are these people that are against this path that Allah has called us to. And Allah tells us in the Quran that there are people who work against your commitment to the path. They don't want to see you committed to the path. And the older we get, you know the progression of commitment, you should be more committed than you was when you was younger. Wouldn't that be a natural commitment, a natural progression? If we ought to believe that we progress in life, then the rationale that I'm getting too old to be committed goes out the door. No. The other side of the coin is you are next for the grave. You are next. Look around and you ain't pointing at them old folks no more. Somebody is pointing at you, saying, oh, that was the old man just going by. They start calling you dad and unc. And you start hearing that, you better get some commitment somewhere. Oh, Dad, just go on, man, before I hurt you. I don't know what they call the sisters. Yeah, whatever it is. I know when they say it, you know that they talking about you old, okay? You older than them. So This idea that we become less committed as we get older will get you in trouble. Because now is when you want to close. We opened 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever your tenure is. Now you got to have the ability to close the deal. You have to become a closer. Have to be committed to the path, man. Unless you got a guarantee. That's what was asked of them. If you believe so much in, you told the Jews that you believe so much in what you saying once you die. You ain't ready to go. Then that's what the crowd said. You ain't ready. You're not going to do that. So the wake-up call is, the reality is we become more committed. Now you shouldn't get punished for being more committed. I hear this argument. Let me put it like this. Do you hear this argument about your commitment to the masjid? Husband and wife. Is the husband complaining about you committing yourself and your work to the masjid? Allah already said this was your zoj. The community is your zoj. And it don't mean that it's got to be a wife. It's your zoj. It is your mate. So it does run interference on whatever you got going. It's supposed to. This idea is a selfish idea when you really think about it. Now we fight all these years to get here. And we fight all these years to get right. Then all of a sudden these arguments about how right you get. Oh man, brother, you keep coming to the masjid and commit to your service work. Sister, you keep going and commit to your service work. Because ultimately Allah says that this is your Jannah. Right here. The elevation of community life is the first sign of the heaven and the way you want to be in the afterlife. Where it's just peace be unto you. Peace be unto you. So we work all these years and we come out of the dead world. And we come into a living world. And now you see beliefs starting to fall apart. Well, I don't know if the Quran answers all my needs. I can see some things, but I can't see all the things. No, the Quran is full of wisdom. It didn't leave anything out. Everything we need for our life is right here in community life. That's a big, long subject, and we're not going to go any further at that angle. But I think what we should know is that our work is never over. These places that we get, our masjids all over the country, these are our centers for our life. You don't look and minimize this work right here. This work absolutely is bigger than your little world. Your little world fits into this big world. That's why we're here. Because we're bringing our little world, our little twosome, to this big possibility. This possibility is not coming to you. You're bringing your world here, which increases this world. This is where our commitment is. And I'm just talking about here. I'm talking about big picture, al-Islam, and how we fit in as believers. And what our commitment is upon that path, upon that Sirat al-Mustaqim. Committed to the path. Well, that's a beautiful thing. Not just around it. I'm just hanging around. No. Everybody is married around here. Because that's the way you should feel. If you ain't married, you should feel that you're at least married to your community. And you embrace it. And you find a way to put your arms around it. And you find out how it can bring the best out of you. It's a beautiful thing when we understand it. Islam is not, we ain't doing it no favor. It's a favor to us all the time. All the time. Don't get lazy on your deen. Step up your deen. Whatever you're doing, step up. Go back to your book. Learn one more ayat. Just one. You don't have to learn three, and you're in good shape. You can pray with it. This Quran is the motivator. Praise be to Allah. Yasin. Al-Quran Hakim. Wise, wonderful book. It's a favor to us that Allah gave us this Quran. We should always be grateful for our lives. And guess what? You may have to lose some things on the way to gain the big thing. Allah says that we will be tested. This is another one that we don't carry on because we stop the logic. We will be tested with our wealth, our children, our families, and your own self. In other words, it's some monsters that might come up out of you from, you don't even know where it comes from, that you're going to have some remedies for. And the key to it is knowing how to apply this book to that monster when it come up. We ain't beyond having them monsters pop up every now and then. Just because you behind closed doors don't mean the monster ain't coming. Boogeyman. Why? Because we've been raised by another culture for a long time that don't see things the way we see it. And the influence on the psychology is strong. So it ain't like we've been totally removed out of that consciousness that they have over there. So with them bombarding us with all the propaganda, we're finding it hard to stay in the road sometimes. We wobbling. Now, if you start saying, "What's up, man? What's happening?" Now, if you saying that more than you saying "Assalamu alaikum," you in the wrong group of people. Trust me. Some of us feel like the Muslim community is not good enough for them. No, we chose Islam because we made a conscious decision. This was the best life for us. So now how do we get down this road and start wobbling? Maybe it ain't. Maybe it don't. No, I can't do that over here. I do it over there. No, man. When you wobbling, you're probably in your sickest position. Because it'd be better if you just committed over here crazy or committed over here on Sirata Mustaqim. In the middle is a bad place to be. Matter of fact, the people on both sides don't want you. They don't want you over here faking, and they sure don't want you over here because you're pretending to be all good. Now, if you're all good, you should be over there, right? So what we got to do as Muslims, make up our mind where we want to be. It's a simple decision. We got some work to do. I believe in interfaith. But I think we got some interfaith work to do. Let's help each other work on our faith and our strength of commitment and ask Allah for His forgiveness and ask Allah for His mercy upon us. Ameen. Takbir. Takbir. Any comments to that?
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح فقالت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawm al-din. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Allahu samad lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Allahu akbar. Sami'a lahu liman hamidah. Allahu akbar. Allahu akbar. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawm al-din. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min sharril waswasil khannas, alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas, min jinnati wan nas. Allahu akbar. Sami'a lahu liman hamidah. Allahu akbar. Allahu akbar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Surat al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Just got a couple announcements. Keep in your prayers the Hajis and for their safe going and coming. And we also have dinner in the back tonight.